I've been using this old Soho router as my primary connection to the internet for quite a few years, and it still works great and I like it. Problem is though, is that I'm paying for a 10 megabit up and 50 megabit download total bandwidth, and that's what I'm paying for with my monthly ISP bill. And generally that's more than enough for my small network. However, I'm starting to run into trouble. For example, I've tried a voice over IP phone, but I'm finding that it's dropping out and I'm not getting the connection that I'd like. I also find that if I'm watching a movie, suddenly I have trouble with other types of services. So what I want to do is take advantage of the bandwidth, that 50 megabit down, 10 megabit up that I'm given, did I say given, that I pay for, and I want to manage that bandwidth in such a way that I utilize it in the best possible way. Now, what we're going to be dealing with are a number of things here. First of all, we're going to be dealing with what we call traffic shaping. Traffic shaping is a generic term that simply means I'm going to control traffic based on all kinds of stuff. I can control traffic based on the type of service that's coming in or out of the system. I can talk about things like based on an IP address or even a MAC address or what port it's going in and out of. I can do anything that I want to control traffic based on whatever criteria. The important thing is that we're always controlling the traffic, and that's called traffic shaping. The best way and most common way we see to do this is what we call quality of service. Quality of service is simply a mechanism by which we can perform traffic shaping. Now, I need to warn you, the Network Plus does not go into quality of service in much great detail, so I'm not either. It can get a lot hairier and a lot deeper than this, but what I am going to show you will work for Soho type scenarios. So let's go ahead and jump into this router and let's take a look at quality of service. Okay, so this particular Soho router has a nice little web-based configuration screen. So got to go in here, and I just know from experience where to look. On this particular one, it's under Applications and Gaming, and it has QoS. Now, first of all, as we take a look here, ignore that wireless stuff at the top. It'll say enabled or disabled. Do I want to turn on QoS? Yes, I do. Now, the second one is upstream bandwidth. A lot of these devices have trouble determining what your upstream bandwidth is automatically. So you can either set that to auto, or if you want to, you can set it manually. I'm going to leave it to auto because it does a good enough job as it is. All right. So I've turned on quality of service. Now, what I need to do is begin saying who gets what kind of quality of service. The trick here is that every router is going to be handling this differently. Sometimes you'll see, well, pick a service and they get a percentage of the bandwidth. Other times they'll say pick a service and they get X number of megabits per second. But what we see on this particular router is it uses a priority basis. So let me show you how one of these works. So what I'm going to use for starters is I'm going to use MSN Messenger because, well, my dog uses MSN Messenger way too much. So I'm going to lower that. And you can see I just have 4 levels here: high, medium, normal, and low. So I'll apply it. And now I've set a low priority MSN Messenger. Now keep in mind that that doesn't mean MSN Messenger is going to run slower. It just means that if it gets busy, he's going to be one of the first guys to be cut and he'll be slowed down. Not stopped, just slowed down. That was fun. Let's do it again. Now on this particular router, I can do some other stuff. Like, it's actually kind of fun. I can set it by MAC address. So we'll say my home theater. And if I knew my MAC address, which I don't know off the top of my head, I could go ahead and type that in, and I could give that a really high priority. So we'll hit apply there. He didn't like that MAC address, but you get the idea anyway. So let's go to another one. Here's like online games, for example. And we can go in particular game, World of Warcraft. Whoops, I want World of Warcraft. We get World of Warcraft. And because I love World of Warcraft more than anything, I'm going to set it to a high priority. So in this particular case, I have set 2 different things to a particular priority. Now, all we're doing here is setting it based on the criteria that this little Soho router allows me to do. So you need to be aware that different routers, and especially more advanced routers, are going to be taking advantage of very powerful utilities and protocols. But for the Net Plus, we're good enough from here.